Hello, Internet. How are you today? I've got an email here, and our friend is asking if I have any experience with long distance relationships. As a matter of fact, I do. Earlier this year, I ended up marrying someone after we spent some time in a long distance relationship, and it was one of the best decisions I've ever made. They're asking, is a long distance relationship worth it? That depends. Um, I think they are. If you find the right person, that person is always worth pursuing if they're the right person to have in your life. You have to decide that though. There's a lot of stress that goes into a long distance relationship. You have to work on multiple different areas of your life if you want it to work. You have to be okay with yourself in ways that you're not really going to understand until you've been a part of one. So their final question is, how do you make them work? And I think honestly it was three things that made my current relationship turn out in a successful way. One of them is you have to be okay with yourself. You have to remove certain insecurities that you have, work through them, because you're going to need to trust this person in a similar but a different way than if you're seeing them every day. You don't know what their day is like. You don't know who they're talking to, um, anything that they're going through or experiencing until they communicate that to you. So you have to trust them and yourself in that uncertainty. And learning to do that can be really difficult because different parts of your own psyche are going to pop up that you may not even know are there. Little insecurities that you're unaware of until you're talking to someone over the phone or over Skype regularly and you're not seeing them every day. So you've got to work on yourself, try to eliminate insecurity, and you've got to communicate regularly. That's the second thing. Um, it's a lot more communication via the phone, via Skype, via any indirect means that, and by direct I mean in person. Um, when you're in a normal relationship, you're going to be seeing this person probably daily, weekly, depending on what stage of that relationship that you're in. And when it's long distance, you can't have that contact. So you've got to reach out and communicate a lot more. Luckily, we're in an age where we have cell phones, and it's much easier to stay in contact now than it was just a decade ago. That's not true, is it? I mean, the first iPhone came out in 2007, wasn't it? Um, and cell phones were around before that. But it's a lot easier now to do long distance as far as communication is concerned. But that brings me to the third part, how to make a long distance relationship work. You have to plan and understand when the next physical visit is going to be. Um, every relationship is different. You need different levels of physical contact, of time spent together. Um, but knowing when that next time is that you are going to be together makes the time apart that much easier to get through. I was in a long distance relationship when I was younger, and that didn't work out because of that third part and the first part. I had a lot of insecurities I needed to work through, and visiting each other wasn't there. Communication was pretty regular, but communication alone wasn't enough to make it work. This most recent long distance relationship that eventually turned into a marriage, uh, it worked because we could regularly plan visits to each other. We we did a lot of talking, ridiculous amounts of talking, and sometimes that had to include really uncomfortable topics. You get really, really good at communicating your needs with this person. You have to, or the relationship won't work. So I'm a little biased in my case, but I would say that this was the best relationship I've ever had. Right? I got married. But just because it forced me to communicate in ways that I hadn't thought of before. So you're going to be doing a lot of growth if you commit to this kind of relationship, but keep in mind that it will all be worth it if you decide that it is for your life. If you decide that this person is someone that you need around. So the three things, right? Work on your insecurities, work on communication, staying close as much as possible, even though you're apart, and plan your next visits and keep them regular. Have some kind of date in mind for when that long distance relationship is going to become a much closer relationship. I don't know, what's the word for that? What's the term for a short distance relationship? Some thoughts for another time. Thanks for watching. Have a great day. Oh, and good luck. Congratulations meeting someone that fills you with joy. That's a great thing. Hopefully everything works out exactly as you want it to. Bye.